channel, I'm Christina. I garden in Northwest Iowa in a zone 5A, and I grow both cut flowers and vegetables. And today's project is seed starting. Now, in my previous video, I started all of my snapdragon seeds, but in today's video, I'm starting peppers and tomatoes. Now, I've actually already started one full tray of peppers and a few tomato seeds, and I'll show you all those at the very end of the video along with my grow light setup, but today I'm starting the bulk of my tomato and pepper plants. Now, I'm starting both of these two different ways. For the peppers, I'm starting them in typical cell trays. These are a 24 cell tray and they're from Gardener's Supply. They're called their Grow East Seed Starter Set. And the reason that I like these trays is that they're self-watering. They come with a humidity dome, but they also come with a wicking mat so they water up from the bottom, so you don't have to check the cell tray every single day. They work great. My tomato seeds I'm multi-sowing in 4-inch cups, so I'll show you that in just a little bit. But let me get started on the pepper seeds first. Before I get these planted, I just want to show you all the different varieties that I'm growing. Now, we're growing quite a variety of peppers this year. I think I have 12 here. A lot of them are mostly for my husband. He loves to pickle peppers and also ferment them for hot sauce, so we have a lot of different varieties here. Now, most of these seeds are from Baker Creek. I do have a couple from Johnny's, and I have a couple others from a company called the Urban Farmer. So the 12 different kinds that I'm sowing are a yellow petite belle, a Jedi hybrid hot pepper, poblano, a fish pepper, which has a variegated leaf, so I think that one's gonna look cool in the garden. I have a habanada, a cayenne, which we're planting a lot of those. We have a sugar rush peach, a shishito, the puma pepper, and then two kinds of jalapenos, a grande jalapeno and a tam jalapeno. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. One is a milder variety of a jalapeno. And then I have some generic green bell pepper seeds that I saved from last year. So I went ahead and labeled all of my markers. Since this is a 24 cell tray and I have 12 different kinds of peppers, I'm gonna do 2 cells of each. And then in this cell tray, I'm gonna sow 2 seeds per cell, 1 in each corner. So let me go ahead and label my cells. All right, so the first one that I'm gonna sow is the Craig's Grande Jalapeno. Now, I've pre-moistened all of my seed starter mix and I've already put it in my seed tray. You always want to pre-moisten your seed mix because once I have the seeds on top of the soil, I'm gonna mist them down from the top, and you don't want your soil to settle so much that it washes the seed away. Now, pepper seeds like to be planted about a 1/4 inch underneath the soil. So I have these filled almost to the top. I've pressed them down so it's pretty firm, and I'm just gonna put my seeds right on top of the soil, and then I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of soil on top and mist them in, and that's about it. So let me get these planted. Okay, they're all planted, so now all I need to do is mist them in on the top a little bit, then I'm gonna put them downstairs on heat mats under my grow lights. Once I see that about 75% of the seeds has sprouted, I'll take the humidity dome off and then turn off the heat mat too. Okay, so let's plant the tomatoes. So my tomatoes I'm starting a little bit different. This year I'm starting them in 4-inch cups. These are left over from some flowers that I bought last year. And if you're reusing something from the previous year, you wanna make sure to wash it really well so there's no bacteria left over from the previous growing season. This is gonna be a great space saver for me. Tomato seedlings do not mind growing close together and they're very easy to separate. So I'm going to be planting 4 seeds per cup. Tomato seeds need to be planted just 1/8 of an inch below the soil. So I have the soil tamping down pretty firm. I'm gonna do the same thing as I did my peppers, laying them on the top, sprinkling a little bit of soil over them, misting them in, and then putting them on the heat mat under the grow lights in the basement. So let me get this started. Now, to cover the tomatoes, the humidity dome that goes with this tray does not fit over top of them, but the easy way to cover these is using a plastic sandwich bag, which fits perfectly, and then a hair tie. And there you go, so much better than saran wrap. Okay, the tomatoes are all planted, but I wanted to share with you the 11 kinds that we're planting. Now, not all of these are going to be in our garden. We'll be sharing some with friends and family too, because that is a lot of tomatoes. So we're doing a Kellogg's Breakfast, the Sunrise Bumblebee tomato. We're doing more of the Martin's Roma tomato than the rest of them because we use that a lot for canning. We're doing the Amish Paste, a yellow pear tomato, Tape's Heritage, the orange accordion, Brad's Atomic Grape, which I've heard really awesome things about, the pineapple tomato, orange hat, which is a micro tomato that I can grow in a pot. It's gonna be so cute, I think. And then the Cherokee purple, which are some seeds that I saved from last year's tomatoes. Okay, let me show you the seedlings that I started a couple weeks ago, and then I'll show you my grow light setup. So here's the tomato seedlings that I've started. These are about 3 weeks old. They're currently sitting in my windowsill. I think they're looking really good so far. And these are the ones that I'm going to separate and transplant. Now, normally I wouldn't start tomato plants this early, which was 3 weeks ago, but I wanted to do a little bit of an experiment this year and see if I could get some larger plants going for my garden. And maybe get some tomatoes a little bit earlier. And these are the pepper seedlings that I also started about 3 weeks ago. Now these are a little bit hit and miss. I think there was a combination of overwatering and maybe a little bit too close to the grow lights. So the first leaves are a little bit curled, but the second and third leaves that are coming out are looking really, really good. Okay, so there's a look at my entire grow station. The shelving and lights all came from Menards. The shelving is just plastic shelving. It's about 36 by 40, and the lights are just shop lights. These shop lights were just about $15 each. They are 4,000 lumens and are LED, and so far they're working great. I found that they're a really good alternative to grow lights because they're a lot less expensive. So on the top, and I know this lighting is not the most amazing, but there's the tomatoes and the peppers that we just planted. And then next to it is Lysianthus. Then I have a whole bunch of snapdragons and some echinacea. And then on my third row are the rest of my snapdragons and some dahlias that I've started from seed. So I have 4 usable shelves on this shelving unit. I'm using 3 right now, and I have 2 lights per shelf. These are the snapdragons that I started in my previous video, which was about 12 days ago. I had an amazing germination rate. A lot of them are starting to get their first set of true leaves already. And there's my dahlias that I've started from seed. Super excited for those. That heat mat is not on, by the way. All right, so that does it for this video. Stay tuned for another video tomorrow morning. The tomato seedlings that I showed you, I'm gonna show you a really easy way to separate those and transplant those. So that'll be my next video. And next week, I'll be starting all of my cool crops by seed and some herbs. Plus, I have some really big projects coming up in the garden this summer. So stay tuned for that too. We'll see you soon.